Hello, good evening, good afternoon. This is Anntoinettemarie Williams of Anntoinettemarie Speaks. And we're going to just bring it down a little bit on today. You have just tuned in to Purpose Living, where today we're going to be talking a little bit about the why and the what. The why and the what today. I hope that you've been doing well. I hope that everything in your life that you've decided that you wanted to accomplish, I hope it's happening for you on today. I do not own the rights to this music. This is called Unthinkable by Damien Escobar. So before we totally get into it, invite somebody, share this. Before we get totally into it, you know what we do. I'll be right back.
Hello, beloved. This is Anntoinettemarie. I believe that every one of us is born with a purpose. No matter who you are, what you do, or how far you think you have to go, you have been tapped by a force greater than yourself to step into your God-given calling. And I also believe that each one of us has an essential role in the whole of humanity. You see, the purpose of me creating Anntoinettemarie Speaks is to offer the wisdom of experience from visionaries, artists, teachers, and trailblazers who have walked this road before you and who have shared their inspiration and lessons with me. So let's go. Let's take this journey together and let's discover the purpose for your life on this earth. This is Anntoinettemarie Williams.
I love that intro. So if you are just now joining me, my name is Anntoinettemarie Williams, and my show is called Purpose Living. And on last week, we had some questions for you on last week. So once you kind of come in, say hello, just say, hey, say who you are. If you are on Facebook, good evening, Facebook. And if you are on Sister Friends United, ATBA, the ATBA tribe, Able to Be Able, or YouTube, I want to say good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you are, our sisters and brothers that are in South Africa. So I want to say that. I also don't want to take this time for granted. So earlier this week, we lost on this earth a beautiful, beautiful soul. Our friend, our colleague, hey Michelle, our sister friend, Joy Jacobs. And so I want to just take a couple moments just of silence, just to give honor where honor is due. And I want to say to the Jacobs family, God bless you. And we mourn with you, and particularly on Bridging the Nations. Joy was definitely an asset to our ministry. Joy Jacobs was on time all the time, and so she's already missed. But we wanted to just take a little bit of time and just to say we missed you, Joy, already, because I think that that's important. I know a lot of times we are going back and forth and we're doing a lot of things, but sometimes we have to just relax a little bit and we have to give honor where honor is due. And so that's what we're doing today on Anntoinettemarie and Purpose Living, because we're already missing her. I want to also say thank you to Tina, who was Joy's BFF, her very best friend, for communicating with us and letting us know that Joy, and my understanding, Joy's mom passed away on I think it was Sunday night, Monday afternoon, I believe it was Monday. And so, Ashe. Okay. All right. We gotta had to get that together. All right. So what I want to do today is we're gonna talk. Last week we spoke a little bit about like what is your purpose and how are you able to identify what your purpose is. And so um, we had a little bit of conversation about that. I'm going to just bring my notes in here. We had some conversation about that. And the other thing is, why are you here? Like, we're going to talk about that today. Like, why are you here? Finding out your why. That's what we're going to be speaking about today. And I know on last week, Michelle Hardy, congratulations on your 501c3 status, beloved. On last week, you talked a little bit about like you knowing what your purpose is and what you're going to be doing, what you are already doing here on this earth. And so for that, I want to say absolutely fantastic. But this is also what I want to run through and share this video as well. What I want to run through and really try to get individuals to understand this. Many times when it comes to our purpose, we are already doing what we're supposed to be doing. Sometimes what happens is that we don't know what is, and we're thinking that we're not doing it, right? That's sometimes. But I want you to remember this, that all the runners run. Like everybody is doing something, but only one gets the prize. And I want that one person to be you in the life that you're living right now. Transition this. In the life that you're living right now, don't quit. On Bridging the Nations, we talked a little bit about that, about you have to fight. And I know that sometimes you'll have these thoughts that come in your head that will tell you you're not good enough, you're not brave enough. But I want to tell you, all of those are falsehoods, and all of those are not the truth. It's not the truth, right? So I want us to just get that really into our spirits on this evening. And I also want to say that, everyone wants to do something. I don't care who you are. You can be a chief executive officer. You could be a brand new entrepreneur. You could be 16 years old. You could be 12 years old. Everyone wants to do something special. Everyone wants to do something that is exciting, right? I know I do. I want to do something that's special. And even if we have already done that thing, I felt like I had on too much. Even if we are feeling like we're already doing that thing, that's great. I think that's fantastic. So I think everybody wants to be successful and reach their dreams. But truthfully, we know that not everybody gets there. And sometimes people will say, well, why is that? Or that it may resonate within you. And you kind of are like, that's me. I'm just being tossed and turned all the time. So tonight we're going to talk about that, the what, and we're going to talk about the why, right? And I believe that most people already, in fact, die, pass over without having ever accomplished their goals or finding out their purpose. And so tonight, in the purpose um, for this show is so that we won't have people that when they transition, when they die, that somehow their spirits look back and say, wow, we didn't even accomplish our goals. What were we sent on this planet Earth to do? So tonight we're going to get in it on tonight. So I want to ask you this question. And Michelle, correspond. And the other individuals, let me know who you are. I see you on YouTube, my friend. So answer this question for me. What makes you different? I'll wait. What makes you different? What drives you? I love that. What makes you want to get out of bed every single day? Can you answer that? What makes you want to get out of bed every day? How will you make sure that you are reaching towards the prize, your purpose? I want us to answer those questions on this evening. And before you ever set out to fulfill your purpose, let me tell you what you're going to need. You're going to need to find out and looking into and the determination that it takes to win. You have to be determined. You have to be steadfast, right? You have to stay focused. And come in quick. Let me tell you something. You need to have this in your mind every single day. The resolve not to let anything or anyone stop you. Not anyone or anything stop you. Not your past, not your present, and not what you think your future is going to look like. Don't let that stop you. Don't let it stop you. Right? And the other thing that you're going to need, we spoke a little bit about this on last week. You're going to need to get passionate about your purpose. How many of you are passionate about something? I said one time before, I am passionate about dark chocolate. Baby, you give me some dark chocolate with some pecans and some caramel. I'm passionate about it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And let those pecans have some salt on them, baby. So my camera's telling me I'm moving around too much. I'm passionate about that. I like it. I love it, really. But that's not my purpose. So you're going to need to get passionate about what you truly want to do. You're going to have to do that. Right? So in the next maybe 15, 20 minutes, I want you to ask yourself, or last week we talked a little bit about journaling. So I want to say this to you. First question, what am I passionate about? What do I love? Giving you a little bit of that because we spoke about that on last week. Number 2, what are the things that get you out of bed in the morning? And don't say my kids. Don't say that. Don't do that. And number 3, because what if you didn't have children? Then what gets you out of bed? Right? What gets you out of bed in the morning? Number 3, what are the reasons? What are the real reasons why you want to be successful? What's the real reason why you want to be a multimillionaire? What's the real reason? And if you can answer those questions, I can almost guarantee you. If you can answer those questions, I can almost guarantee you, you are on your way to really, really, truly understanding what your purpose is. But a lot of times people don't want to do that work, right? Every single person wants something in this world. Everybody on this planet wants to do something that's going to be impactful and be able to make changes in people's lives. I know I do. Yes, it's good to be, cute and beautiful and handsome. All that stuff is gorgeous. We love that. But at the end of everything, what are you passionate about? What is your purpose? Why are you here? Most people in life, I hear people ask that question a lot, and I've seen a lot of shows on television. They're like, well, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Then what you do know is what you're doing now. So sometimes we have to start there. What am I doing now? Do I enjoy it? Does it come easy to you? Does it make you happy? Does it give you joy? Does it support other human beings? Does it have the opportunity to be a solution to other areas in your life or in other people's lives? Because this is what I know for sure. We are all here by divine purpose. We are all significant, and passion and purpose are all interconnected. They're all interconnected. Let me tell you a quick story. So, um, ever since I was a little girl, I've always enjoyed dogs, horses, and particularly those two. And my grandmother, who I stayed with, um, we lived on the farm and we had a horse and we had dogs galore, and some were hunting dogs, which that's a little bit different type of a dog. We didn't pet those. But I never knew like why I enjoyed that. So as time goes on, um, currently, so now I have a really great friend that has a horse. Good evening, Carol. I have a really great friend that has a horse. My husband's family, they have land in Arkansas and have horses, and it's just a remarkable thing. And then I have friends like Carol that also love horses as well. I still not to a certain degree totally understand my connection with horses. But what I do know is horses have a connection with me as well. And so, one of the things I want to say is, and as I go along with this story, my friend said to me, "Hey, you know what? I have a horse. Let's come. Will you come out to the barn? Beautiful. I think it's like 64 acres. Beautiful, magnificent." Um, and I had an opportunity to just, you know, love on some horses, and there's just a connection there. I can't really explain it. Carol probably could understand what I'm saying. Um, but what I want to say to people is that sometimes you'll have connections to things, and they don't always have to be humans, and you don't necessarily always know why. But what tied me and my friend together were the horses. So the friendship that I have with her was tied together because what? We had something in common that we were both passionate about. So as you go through your life, I don't want you to forget that. I don't want you to forget sometimes you have relationships with other individuals and you're like, wow, what drew us together? And then dig deeper in that, right? Because I believe passion will also ignite your purpose. Sometimes you'll hear people say, well, you can only have one purpose on this earth. Antoinette Marie, I would disagree with that. And this is the reason why I would disagree, is because I am fastly approaching 50. I got a couple more years, y'all. And when I was a stay-at-home mom, my purpose was to make sure that my kiddos were well, right? Right? When I was in corporate America, my purpose was to help ignite, help influence, to help young, up and coming, young individuals, and particularly women that wanted to get to whatever that next level was, right? I knew that was my purpose. And so I'm saying that to say you have seasons when it comes to purpose, right? God doesn't always have you to do one thing, and this is it, because people are changing, systems are changing, environments are changing. And sometimes if you get stuck and just saying, well, I'm only going to do this, and this is what I'm only supposed to do, there is no only when it comes to purpose, right? I want you to know that there is no only, I'm only supposed to do this. And so now that I am approaching this beautiful age, I see now that my purpose is to just to really support individuals, women in particularly, when it comes to how do you find balance in your life, in your family, and in your career, and helping women to heal. You're bruised, but you're not broken. helping women to heal. Because I believe as women heal, their children heal. I believe that when men heal, their sons heal. When women heal, their daughters will heal as well, right? And so there's always what I call little crystals and golden nuggets of what you're currently doing now and how that will vibrate to what you're going to be doing in the future, right? And I used to say to people, there's something like right back here. I don't know if Carol and Michelle, if you ever had that, you're like, something, I got to keep that back here. So I really believe that there are so many times in our lives where things will always add up. We just got to look for those things. We got to calm down. We have to slow down, and we have to pay attention to the subtleties that come into our lives, right? And you don't have to like feel anything. Like people say, "Oh, I feel like," it may not even necessarily be a feeling. It could be a sense. It could be energy, right? In Reiki, we talk a lot about the energy and the energy levels that are within a human being, right? Animals have energy too, y'all. Okay. And so here's the thing that I want us to remember: get outside of what you are so comfortable with doing. Because sometimes, good evening, Vaniqua, because sometimes when we're so comfortable with doing things a certain way, when we're used to doing things a certain way, we become so focused on doing it that way that we miss the purpose. Okay. So, for example, if you're so used to, let's say, getting your hair done a certain way, right? And you're just like, I want to have my hair to get done this way. I want to get it done this way. But then you miss out on the opportunity for whoever is doing your hair to have some conversation with them because you're so used to just looking at the end result. Sometimes we're just so like we just want the end result. And this is not a sprint. It is a journey. It is a journey. And so last week when we talked about, how Peter got out of the boat, I want to say that again this week. Sometimes we have to get out of the boat of having the same complacent mentality because it worked 2 years ago, then that's how it's going to be this year. Because it happened like that 2 or 5 years ago or 10 years ago, that means that we're looking for it to go the exact same way. Just like the earth, things rotate, right? Things rotate. And so you have to get used to things in your life rotating, right? Things are not going to ever be the same. That's just not the way God created you. It's not the way God created us, right? And I know that there are going to be times in your life where you're going to say, well, I was hurt and I was broken and so on and so forth. I want to say to you tonight that the pain was the arrow behind all of the pullback. And I know that sounds so cliche. It's like, oh, why do I have to go through pain? Let me tell you something. I don't want to go through pain either. I don't want to go through pain either. But I tell you what, many times when we go through pain, whether it's sorrow, there's much of a story to tell. And I want to say to someone tonight, don't be afraid to tell the story. Don't be afraid to tell your truth. And I know it might hurt some people, but you're not doing it to hurt people. You're doing it to help and free other men and women that may not be able to tell their story, may not be ready to tell their story. And you just might be that individual that they hear you, they see you, and give them the strength to say, you know what? I'm going to help some people too. That's my hope. And purpose living, the reason why I do this show. That's the hope that I have for other men and women, that they find something, whether it's just something that is said, something that you all are saying, that gives them the strength and and the support to understand the power within themselves to enact their purpose, to tell the story, even if it is a story. You can do that as well, right? I remember, and this last past week, I've been doing a lot of just reflecting. I miss my grandma, something hard. I think about her every day. And I remember my grandmother saying this to me. She would say, Annie, there are going to be times in your life, beloved. My grandmother was saying beloved before anybody else was saying it. So now I say it. There are going to be times in your life, beloved, that you're not going to understand this thing called life. But take it from me. Keep living, and it gets better and it gets easier. And so I'm saying that to you today. It's going to get better. It's getting easier as you sit here on tonight. Whatever you're going through, whatever you feel as though it's not congruent in your life, release it and let it go. Release it and let it go. Because greater is what God has in store for you. You must move into your purpose, right? And I love talking about my ancestry, and particularly my grandmother. She was the greatest woman that I've known. Um, and every single day, I miss her. And so this week, I miss Joy. I miss our little conversations on Messenger. I miss it. So if you don't want to find your purpose for yourself, how about for the people, the men and women, your ancestors that worked so hard for just freedom, that worked so hard for you to have a home, that worked so hard to be able to read and write. And I hear people, I say, I don't owe my life to anybody. I'm not saying you owe your life to anybody, but I want you to think about if this resonates with you, how difficult it may have been for your ancestors, how some of them had to sneak to try to read. And now we have social media. We can read anything that we want. We just Google it, right? So you may not owe your life, but there is something that you do owe. We call it giving back, right? I truly believe that the power within you is where you actually have already been, where you've already been. And a lot of times, what we try to do is we try to look perfect. I had that try to look perfect syndrome, right? I tried to be superwoman. Like I can do it all. I can fry it up in the pan and I can bring home the bacon and fry it up in the pan and I don't know, however the song goes. And it almost cost me my life. It almost cost me my life. You don't have to work that hard. You don't have to just, oh, I'm just grinding all day. People say that and then act as though like that's like a badge of honor. Like I'm grinding all day. Mm, I don't think you have to grind all day, right? I don't think you have to grind anyway. I think that you have to work hard, right? And be diligent and be focused. But to grind all day, um, I don't think you have to do that. To hustle, I'm not a hustler. I know some people, like they love that. The definition of no, I'm not. I'm just not. Now, gigantus and beautiful and uniquely me and queendomship, I will take all of that, but I won't take a hustler, right? So the other thing is too, your purpose is already instilled within you. It is. So when God gets ready to do a thing in your life, just be open and willing to allowing for God to do that thing in your life, right, Carol? Be willing and open to allowing God to do that thing in your life. Sometimes we got to step aside and let God in and not try to do our own thing, our own way. This is how I'm doing it, this is how I'm doing it. Some of the people that I thought was going to be on this journey with me, baby, they are nowhere to be found. Nowhere. I'm still looking. Well, I was, but I ain't no more. I'm looking like I thought you were supposed to be here. And sometimes you're going to have to just step by step, you'll have to keep walking. And I remember some of my ancestors would say, listen, it's just me and God. Sometimes you're going to feel like it's just you and God. It's just going to be you and God. I felt like that this week. It's just me and God, me and the great I am, right? Yeah, I feel that on tonight. And remember this, God is still God, even when things go wrong or what we perceive as wrong. God is still God. Even when you are in the valley, God is still there. I text my children every single day. Usually, sometimes it's about 4 in the morning. And one of my sons was actually born at 4 in the morning. And so every time, actually 4:47. And there are some times when I wake up and it's like 4:47. So I'll text my son and I'm like, hey, just trying to see how you are. And I have names for all of my children because I speak what I want. So one of my sons, I'll say Grand Rising Admiral. And one day he asked me, he said, Mom, no, he's 20 something. He's like, Mom, why do you call me Admiral? And I said, I call you Admiral because you are a leader. That sticks with him every single day. Every day. And you know what, Carol? I call one of my sons Oracle. Yeah, fantastic, right? And so every single day, just to know God is still God. I know it looks crazy. I know that money is looking funny. I know the opportunity may be looking like, ugh, why me? Stay focused. Trust God. God is still God. God is still God. And God has already said to us, I will never leave you. Carol, he will never leave you. Michelle, he will never leave you. Neither will he forsake you. Forsake means I be like, I ain't even know who she was. That is not God. That's some people that we might have dated. That might be some people we dated, and you see them over at the Target, and they look at you, and you look at them. They be like, "Dang, you gonna look at you like y'all didn't, yeah," because they with they new boo thing. Yeah. Anyway, that's not my life. That's somebody else's life, right? But even when those people forsake you, God is still there. God said, I am the God between you, your mountain, when you on top and when you in the valley. I am still here. That you were sent here to do something very valuable and very special. That you are all necessary to this world. You're very necessary to the kingdom. God, right? I want to say this too. God didn't create anything for entertainment. He did not create you for entertainment. He didn't just create anything just for its beauty. It may be beautiful, but it wasn't created for beauty. The lilies are not created just for beauty. Bees were not just created because they're beautiful. Bees do what? They give us honey. They have what? Purpose. Oh, come on in this house tonight. Oh, that was good. Listen, if I had let me do my own handkerchief because I know that was nothing but sources said that to me. Let me put my whole handkerchief up. So remember that. Remember that. Even if it's that piece on tonight, nothing God created, He just created just because you're cute. He created you for a purpose, just like a bee, just like the bees, right? So I always say that everything that we do has to come through these 5 questions, and I'm done. Who am I? Where did I come from? Where is my source? What is my source? Right? Number 3, why am I here? What am I supposed to be doing? Number 4, what can I do? I heard Miles Monroe say that only 90% of the population uses, that 90% of the population uses 10% maybe of their potential. I want to speak this over your life tonight, that you're not the 90%. I want to say you're that 10% that's using, let's say, hopefully 50%. And if you're not, let's start doing it. Let's start being effective. Let's start being prudent, right? And number 5 is, where am I going? What is my destiny? What do I see myself doing in 5 years? What do you see yourself doing in 5 years? Carol, what do you see yourself doing in 5 years? Think about that. 365 days times 5. I don't know what that is right now. What do you see yourself doing in 3 years? Let's pull it back. What do you see yourself doing in uh, a year from now? Today is October the 14th, 2021. What do you see yourself, Michelle, doing this time next year? Yeah. Think about that. Write that in your journal. Let's journal about that. For next week, tell me what you wrote in your journal. This is homework time. So when we come back on next week, I want you to answer those questions for me. I'm going to go through them again. And this is where I miss Joy, because Joy would have wrote this down already in the chat. Number 1, who am I? Number 2, where did I come from? Number 3, why am I here? Right? Purpose. Number 4, what can I do? Where's my potential? And number 5, where am I going to be in the next 12 months? What am I going to do? Where am I going to be living? What's my destiny? Right? Again, every human being wants to be successful. Right? And I want to say this to you. Here's a stump moment. I believe, let me do a reset real quick. I believe that success is predictable. It is up to you. I know that may sound something that people will not honestly even believe, but I believe it. As hard as I worked when people would say, oh, I had a 9 to 5. Baby, let me tell you, when I was in this thing called corporate America, I had a 12 to 12. People say 9 to 5. So sometimes I was working 16 hours because I wanted to be seen. I wanted to do well. I wanted to be on top. I wanted to be, the number one director. I wanted, my staff to be the best. While other directors were sitting down, eating, drinking wine, sitting, eating lasagna, I'm still at the workplace. And I'll never forget, the cleaning lady said this to me. She said, baby, every single night for the last 2 years, I've seen you be here by yourself. Do you see anybody else here? And I said, no, ma'am, I don't see anybody else here. And as she was talking, I'm thinking to myself, child, I got to get this report done. And she said to me, it will be here tomorrow. So I'm going to say to somebody, it's 7:40 Central Time, PM. It will be there tomorrow. It will be there tomorrow. Because no matter how many hours you put in, if you're not going in the right path, that amount of hours doesn't matter, right? I want you to find your purpose. I want you to know exactly what you're were sent here on this earth to do. And I also want you to know that God is more committed to your success even more than you are, and that God wants you to succeed. He actually needs you to succeed. Why? Because success is important to every creator. Every creator wants what they have created to be successful. Every manufacturer that builds anything has to have a good report that what they have created, come on in this room, God, that what they have created is successful. It is able to be utilized in the way that the designer, that the manufacturer has intended for it to be. Mhm. So if you have an Android phone, and a lot of times what we do is we get this new phone, we take it out of the box, we turn it on, and we just start playing and hitting buttons. Pew, 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 pew. What we have not done is read the manual. Mhm. Yeah, we haven't read the manual. And so today, I challenge you to read the manual, to talk to God, right? Because when you read the manual, that means that you're getting into the maker's mind. Come on in this room tonight. That means that, listen, this all fresh manna right here now. When you read the manual, that means that you are actually in the mind of the individual that created the object. So when you talk to God, the great I am, your source, that means that you are getting into the mind of the creator that created you. hmm hmm That's why some of us are frustrated because we're not spending time with God. hmm Yeah. hmm And so a lot of times what happens, example, again, we get frustrated with the phone because we're like, oh, the phone's supposed to do this. Why it's not turning on? And why my screen don't look how it's supposed to? Because you skip page 2. And on page 2, it tells you what your screen is supposed to look like. And you can get your screen to be a black screen if you would have read page 2. Mhm. So again, I want to say to you, go back, have a relationship with God. Don't try to fix the phone yourself. We cannot fix ourselves. We need help. You've ever had your phone and you're like, oh, I can fix it. No, 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 no. Most times we can't. Even with a phone, most times we can't, right, Badikwa? hmm Sometimes you have to take it to back to the manufacturer. So when you get confused and you don't know what you're supposed to do, go back to God and say, God, listen, I tried it my way and this thing ain't working. And God will say, come on, 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 come on. The manufacturer, God would say, come on, let me show you. Let me help you. And many of us got to go back to the manufacturer and just ask. And God is a God that is patient, very, very patient. He'll say, listen, I know you was trying to do it all yourself. And just like the manufacturer, if you go back to whatever those T-Mobile, Verizon, whoever you go to, and they would say, why'd you play with this phone like this? You done messed this whole thing up. All you had to do was just bring it back. Well, I was trying to fix it. And God is telling us, why don't you just bring it to me? Bring your cares to me. I love you. I need for you to succeed because I created you. So if you don't succeed, that makes God look bad. hmm hmm So that's one of the reasons why I employ you never to think of your life in a scarcity mindset. If you don't succeed and you talking about God this and God this and God that, and you ain't got nothing, God is not poor. But we got to change this up here. That's the first thing that we got to do. Because think about it. If you fail throughout your entire life, if a product fails, its reputation is at stake. If you fail and God has created you, that means that God's reputation is at stake. hmm hmm So that's just one thing that you can be confident of, that God wants you to be successful. He wants you to have joy. He wants you to live a great and dynamic life. And you are the person that can do it. God will help you, give you the tools. Yeah, because God created you in his own image. So if God is great, what does that make you? Uh-huh. Yeah, because the first thing that God put on you was him. He put his spirit into you. We all got to believe that though. We have to believe that because your failure is bad for God. And I ain't saying bad as a good thing. Yeah, yeah. So on tonight, I challenge you to think about your life differently. I challenge you to listen to God. I challenge you to have a relationship. I challenge you to go into that sacred place. And I'll say it every single Thursday night, that sacred place. Even if it's 10 minutes, it could be 10 minutes out of your day. hmm Correct. Because when we are able to tell someone or to show someone just through our own life that we are successful, that protects God's name. Is that too deep? I know that might be too deep for people. It just might be too deep. We'll do it another day. Tonight, I want to tell you, stop being afraid to live the life that you have dreamt. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Thank you, Vaniqua. Stop waiting for the money in order for you to take step one. Step two, it will come to you. Again, your what and your why. You got to know what that is. What is your why? Think about this. If birds can no longer fly and fish can no longer swim, God's namesake is in trouble. Go back to the book of Genesis. He talks about how he created them all. So if the creator created them, so that means the creator knows exactly what they are supposed to be doing. And if they don't do that, then it means that God's reputation is on the line. And so tonight, I want to say this to you, and I'm done. Every single thing that you do in life, God sees it, he knows it. Take a chance that God knew exactly what he was doing. Take a chance to live your life on purpose and with purpose. What is it that makes you have joy in the morning? What is it that makes you want to get up and write a grant for? What is it that makes you want to wake up in the morning and create and make soap and make a shampoo and lotion? Why? It's not all for you, beloved. It's for other people. It's so that people can see the God in you, the grace that God has given you and that you have on your life. That's the purpose. That's the purpose. And love on yourself. Show yourself some love. That's for somebody, right? And when you know that energy levels are not where you want, or people's energy levels are not where you know that your energy needs to be, walk away from that. Walk away from it. You know who you are. You know that God created you and you know how awesome you are. So when you know and you sense, everybody can sense things, right? It's not just, pastors, preachers, prophets, evangelists, Reiki practitioners, all that. You know what you are able to sense. So when you sense that people's energy levels are being in somebody's presence, it drains you, baby. Walk like an Egyptian. Get out of there. Get out of there. Because God has created you in spirit. And now you're in this flesh. You have this flesh suit. And I'm grateful for it. But there's a work for us to do. There's a great divine purpose for your life, Carol. There's a great divine purpose for your life, Vaniqua. I can't wait. I wish I could meet you all, not just on Zoom. I don't want to do a Zoom. I want to hug your necks. I want to hold you close to my chest and tell you it's going to be all right. It's better than good. Sometimes all we need is a really strong, healthy hug just to get it out. I had a massage today, and I tell you, this woman is powerful, and she's a healer. And she works in secular, a massage place. And the first time she gave me a massage, I said, oh God, I thank you. You know how, have you ever had that moment in your life? You're like, God done brought this lady to me just for me. God done brought this lady to this place just for me. I have that feeling. I have that, like, that sense, like God knew exactly to bring this woman to this place. And so she was administering on me today. I tell you, I had such a release. And I can cry quick. I just sense people's energies, but I can cry quick. But I want to say this. I need you. And we all are a part of this. It brings me back to this song that says, I need you. We're all a part of God's body. Stand with me. Agree with me. We're all a part of God's family. It is His will that every need be supplied. You are important to me. I need you to survive. Y'all know I ain't no psalmist, but I will cut a song here and there, when spirit come and let me know. And I am not scared. Ain't nobody gonna check me on all that. But I want to say that to you, that we need one another. We have to understand that we can be a part, Paniqua, we can be a part of a great kingdom, and we all could be doing something different. We also will have people that are doing something that's very similar to what we're doing. But there's a reason why people come to you, Carol. And there's a reason why people come to you, Michelle. And there's a reason why people, Michelle, when they're looking for you, baby, if they don't see that flower, they're going to be like, where is Michelle at? Where is she? Banika, if we don't see you on here on Sundays, we're always asking, where was, we don't call you the future Dawn. We call you the Dawn, actually, on Bridging the Nations, Banika. Where was Dawn at? The Dawn. So I just want to say that to you. Never, ever think that you're not important. Never, ever for 1 minute think that nobody is seeing what you're doing. They're seeing it. They're seeing it. I'm seeing it. So I am so anticipating to see you, Carol, again, to seeing you, Dawn, the Dawn, seeing you, Michelle. I'm excited about what you're doing for the Michelle Hardy organization and literacy for children. I'm excited about that. I'm excited for people to be able to come to Oakland, California, and on March the 5th. And Michelle, feel free to put that information in the chat. I'm excited about that. I literally just want to hug every woman. I don't know if you all have, I feel like we're having such an intimate conversation right now. I don't know if you all have seen, I saw something on the Discovery Channel, and there was a documentary where it was a young lady. She would go around to cities and she would have a sheet of paper, kind of like this. She'll just have like a sheet of paper, and she would say, free hugs. Listen, you don't know how much a hug can impact another human being. There are some people on this earth that have never received a hug that they can actually remember. How beautiful is that? To just be a person that says, I just want to give you a hug. I just want to let you know that I'm here, that God cares for you, that cares about you, right? So whether it is at the Black Tie event in March, I'm going to just hug on people. And I'm going to say this, I am vaccinated. And in another week, I'm going to get this third vaccination. But even if I had not had the third one and I just got my two, I am so looking forward just to holding women that have and that are going through some crazy uncertainty. So I'm just going to hold you and let you know it's okay. I'm just going to rub your back and say, it's okay. Somebody's here. We can get through it. You're going to get through it. So I'm looking forward to that. I wish it was sooner, but March is not that far because it's already November. Michelle, you're vaccinated too. Good. And that's people's preference. Whatever people decide that you don't, that's your issue. That's not, I don't have anything to do with that. But I love when people are vaccinated, for sure. And so from my heart to yours, I just want to let you know that you're important. Never forget that you are important. And if nobody ever tells you that you are, I want to let you know tonight. And I want to tell you, you are important to me. Vaniqua, I look for you every Sunday. Michelle, you're awesome. Carol, we already have a connection. And anybody else that's coming on here, I want to just say, I want to see you in Oakland, California. Maybe we take the next day and we just enjoy our everyday life. Breathe in. Go on a boat. Go on a yacht. Have fun. Until we see each other again. Because what life continues to tell me and to show me, I'm going to say this without crying. Whew, I might not be able to. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. What life continues to show me is that we're all waiting for the next thing. We're waiting to be our best. We're waiting for something. Maybe we're waiting for people. Maybe we're waiting for the crowd. But I want to say this to you today. Let's not wait to love on one another. Let's not wait. We don't have to. Just to tell people I appreciate you. Just to whatever you're saying may put a smile on somebody's face. You know what my goal is tomorrow? When I go to our grocery store here called Syndic's, I'm going to pay for somebody's groceries. You know what? I'm so looking forward to doing that tomorrow. That allows me to be anxious about waking up in the morning. That God has given me the ability to do something that I think is small. But to a, a woman that has children, that is barely making ends meet, it means something. To an elderly man or woman that is living from paycheck to paycheck, that means something to them. And so as you find your purpose on this earth, also know that that's also a part of your purpose. Be kind to one another. Be kind to one another. Let people know that they are important. That they are important, because no matter how much money you have, how much you have in assets, if you are a mean junkyard dog, an alley cat, that don't mean nothing to God. Money means nothing to him. But when you are kind and concerned, and you're paying it forward, and you're loving on people, and you care for people, that's when God says, that is my son, that is my daughter. Because the kindness that you show to others is the kindness that God continues to show unto you. Each one, teach one, and reach one. And that's real. That is real. To much is given, much is required. So as always, I love you all. I am blessed to be able to come on here and to have y'all just to listen. And y'all stuck with me for a whole hour. Carol, Michelle, Beniqua. I am going to do a special prayer for you all tonight, you three. Thank you. And if you're looking at this on the replay, just say #replay, and I'm going to do that same prayer for you all as well. Success belongs to you. And you know what? Success is up to you. Knowing the what and the why is how you actually get there. Knowing the what and the why is how you actually get there. And as always, if you have a husband or a wife or someone that you love and care for, let them know that they are important to you. Let them know that there is nothing that they can do. True love, right? That will separate you from them. True love. I'm talking about the godly love, right? I also want to say to Tina, again, I want to say thank you so much for being Joy Jacobs' best friend. Thank you for letting us know if there is something that we can do to help in the process on Anntoinettemarie Speaks. Please let us know on BTN. We will do that, absolutely. If you have children, Let your children know that they are important to you. I know sometimes we think that they know that already, but don't go a day without letting your children know that they are important to you, right? And I will see you next week. I'm going to change and do a different external extra. We call it intro and extra. Maybe it's called extra. Not really sure. I will see you again on Sunday at Bridging the Nations. Take care. I love you.
Today, I wanted to just take a little bit of time just to let you know that you are important and that I love you. And if nobody ever has said it to you, you're going to hear it from me today. You're beautiful, you're handsome, you're divine.